Hello, hello. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing good. I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope that you're ready for another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. As you can tell, as you can tell every week when I go live, I am always ready for another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. I am very sorry that we were a few minutes late today. I was having some technical difficulties. I was actually trying to share a very exciting thing with you guys before I hop on live, which I'm going to tell you in about a second. But yeah, let's get started. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am going to dive deep into one of my favorite topics ever. One of the things that I believe is the most important thing to your success. The most important thing to your success, like capital THE, which is building your confidence. Okay. There are so many reasons why confidence building is so imperative to online success, to building a profitable coaching business. And I can start listing them all for you, but overall, I just want you to understand that without this piece, it's going to be really, really hard for us to move the business forward, right? Like if we are constantly questioning and second guessing ourselves and, trying to convince ourselves that we are good enough or that we're ready or that we're a good coach, if we're constantly fighting with ourselves and how much we believe in ourselves and in our capacity to achieve, it's going to be really, really hard. It's not impossible, but it's going to be hard. So per your request, you guys vote every single week on what topic you would like for the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. You guys voted for this one, which is how to build a confidence to start your own coaching business. I have so much to say about this, and I promise you it's not what you're expecting. I'm going to give you a little bit of like an unexpected turn. What they do in the movies where you're like, dun dun dun. I cannot believe she said that, right? Hey, happy Monday, Claudia. So happy to have you here. Welcome, everyone. Everyone who's here live, let me know that you're here. I love knowing where you guys are from, where you're tuning in from. And for those of you who will watch the replay later, let me know as well. Okay, so I am going to explain to you what you need to do to build your confidence to start your coaching business. I'm going to explain to you why confidence is the number one thing that you need to work on as you build and scale the business. Like I'm going to dive into all of that, but I am also going to, how do I say this? Give you a whole different perspective around building confidence to grow your coaching business that you were not expecting, but it's going to really change the way that you show up, and it's going to really change the way you feel about all the fears, doubts, and insecurities that inevitably come up as you start something new. Are you ready? I am so ready. Before I begin, I want to spend 2 minutes sharing something that I'm releasing today. It is called my How to Get Your Next Client framework. It is the best thing that you could join if you're just getting started with your business, if you've been struggling to get clients. It is a low-cost one-on-one experience with me where you and I have a full-on 60-minute session where we are going to map out your niche, ideal client, marketing plan, work on your confidence, right? And you're going to get a ton of resources like sales templates, a workbook that goes with my framework that I'm going to customize to you so that you can follow along as you grow the business. Like there's just so much that we're going to do in that framework together, and it is such a low-cost experience. And for the first 24 hours, so right now, the first 24 hours that we're releasing it, you will get $100 off, which makes it such an affordable way to get one-on-one coaching support when it comes to growing your coaching business, okay? So if you've been interested in working with a coach, if you've been wanting to work with me through one of my long-term programs, but you just haven't been ready for that long-term investment, this is such a good way for us to get started. This is such a good way for you to stop trying to figure out how to get your next client on your own and spinning your wheels every single day learning from like a webinar here and a post there and a video here and this there, and then you're just left with more confusion and more overwhelm, and none of that is customized to you. In this How to Get Your Next Client framework session, we are actually going to create a custom tailored social media and marketing plan. We are going to get clarity on your business foundations. You're literally going to walk out of it with your very own How to Get Your Next Client framework workbook that guides you step by step on all the things that you need to be doing in order to get that next client online. So if you've been wanting that one-on-one coaching support, click after we're done, or if you're really excited, just go ahead and click on it right now. But click on the link in the description for this video and join us. You have 24 hours to join. After 24 hours pass, the price will go up $100. So you have 24 hours to grab one of the spots. And we'll get to work together on a one-on-one basis. You also get a follow-up session. So you're gonna actually have the session with me, go out and implement and do some of the things that we talked about. And then you and I are gonna meet up again. We're gonna see what worked, what didn't work. We're gonna customize it and tweak it and figure out if it's not working or if it doesn't feel that good to you, what we need to change. So it's a full-on comprehensive one-on-one coaching experience with none of the high costs of long-term coaching and all of the low cost opportunity. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. Go ahead and click on that link if it's enticing excitement for you or whatever. Now, let's dive right into today's topic. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about building your confidence. Okay, so why is this important? Let's just start there. The reason why for the past 6+ years that I have ran a successful coaching business, I have preached over and over again, building your confidence is one of the most important things that you could do, that I could do, that anyone can do. And I will continue to preach it forever and ever and ever, because there's so many layers to it. Layer number one, if we are not working on our confidence and raising it and our belief about ourselves and our capacity to achieve, then we are 10 times more likely to stay stuck in fear, doubt, and insecurity. Okay, but that's not all, right? Like that's the reason why we need to work on it. There's other reasons that go even further than that, right? Where it's like building your confidence increases your sales conversions, because when you can stand behind what you do and when you can stand behind your business and when you can stand behind your products, other people are way more likely to stand behind that as well, right? So you are like, not only are you able to take more action when you're working on that internal piece, which in turn will move the business forward more than anything else, more than any strategy that anyone can give you, more than any ad that you can invest in, whatever. It will move the business forward more than anything else. But also it will help you make more sales. It will help you get more clients, because when you have that confidence factor, you are more likely to not just attract people to you and do the work that it requires to attract people to you, but people can also feel that you are someone that they can trust because you trust yourself. Make sense? I think I've given this example before, but I will give it again. You don't want to go to a doctor who's like, I don't know, I think you have a sinus infection, but I'm just not sure. I don't know if I can trust myself on this one. I don't know if I'm good enough to really figure this one out for you. I don't know. I think you have a sinus infection, but like, I don't want to like give you that diagnosis, because what if I'm wrong? Or what if I'm not ready? Or what if I'm not good enough? Nobody wants to go to that doctor, right? Everyone wants to go to a doctor who will be like, hey, I'm pretty sure you have a sinus infection. Based on my experience, based on my expertise, this is what it looks like you have. Here's the medication that I'm going to give you. We're going to try this out. If it's not a sinus infection, this medication is probably not going to do anything negative to you. But let's start here. I think this is a good game plan for us. I'm pretty sure this is the thing that's going to help you get better, but I'll see you again next week, okay? Or if you need anything, call the office and we'll be here to support you. right? There is such a difference between a confident coach and a non-confident coach. People want to work with a confident coach. Okay, so there's just so many layers where building your confidence to start your business is so important. Okay, next thing is it is the thing that will help you do uncomfortable things, right? Like if you're not building that internal strength, okay, then you are likely staying stuck in the tasks that seem easy. Okay, so maybe, just to give you an example, you are posting like 3 times a week in your social media. Okay, it feels a tad bit uncomfortable, right? But it's still pretty safe. You're posting some value posts, you're posting some inspiration, but you probably know that in order to make more money in your business, you need to start making promotional posts. You need to start sharing more pictures. You need to start going on stories, or you need to start focusing on personal outreach, or doing a live stream, or sending out that email that opens the door to your new program, right? Like you probably know that you need to be doing things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. If you're not constantly working on your confidence, then you're probably not going to stretch yourself far enough in order to start seeing the results. Okay. So many reasons why building your confidence is important. Now, let's talk about that unique angle that I'm going to give you today. So many of you can easily fall into the trap. Okay, I'm going to call it the trap. Easily fall into the trap that you need to be confident in order to. Okay, now let me explain. I feel like what most of you were expecting is like, okay, give me the tools that you teach your one-on-one clients so that they can get confidence and that they can get booked out with clients, which I'm going to do, right? I'm going to give you my favorite tool. You can do this every single day, and the way that you feel and the way that you think about yourself, your business, and all the things in between will start changing, right? Okay, that's how I'm going to wrap up this live stream, giving you the one tool that I absolutely love and that I give to 99% of all of my clients, right? But that's not the meat of what I'm teaching you guys today. That's not the meat. The meat of what I'm teaching you guys today is, why are we waiting to feel entirely confident in order to start the business? You weren't expecting that one, right? You probably wanted me to give you a tool so that you can get confident and then you can go and do it and feel good and make it feel easy and not feel any discomfort. But that's just not the case. So there's 2 ways in which we build confidence, okay? We build confidence doing internal work, like the tool that I'm going to share with you. And we also build confidence by taking action that we're uncomfortable with repeatedly until we get more comfortable with it, okay? For example, I joined the gym this morning. I have not stepped foot in a gym in over a year. Do I look like I'm confident to go into that gym today? No, absolutely not. Right? Like I literally go up the stairs at my parents' house and I lose my breath. So it's the same idea with your business, where it's like, if you're waiting to feel confidence enough to step into that gym, you probably will be waiting forever, right? Because there's no amount of internal work that will eradicate all the human emotion that's going to come as you start a business, as you start something new, as you take on a massive yet wildly fulfilling undertaking, right? There's nothing that will completely eradicate that. So we don't need to be waiting until we feel confident in order to start the business. That's just a fallacy. That's just something that's going to keep you stuck for a really long time. We can get really stuck into the mindset work. We can get really stuck into the confidence work, and we can get really into the idea of like, well, when I do this enough, and when I feel perfect, and when I have no fear, and when I have no doubt, and when I have no insecurity, then that's the sign that tells me I'm going to start my coaching business. I knew this was going to happen. I brought some backup earrings just in case, because these fall often. Okay. That's the sign. That's like the girls in Fast and the Furious who say like ready, set, go. But that's not true at all, right? Like I need you to grab those flags and say ready, set, go. I'm gonna start right now, even when I'm not confident, because this is part of building my confidence. Part of building my confidence is starting before I'm ready. Part of building my confidence is doing things that I'm not comfortable with until I get comfortable with them, right? Part of building my confidence is being willing to do something even if I'm scared, being willing to do something even if it's imperfect, being willing to do something even if the conditions don't seem like the perfect environment, right? Is this like, I wonder, like, is this triggering you? Is this giving you insight? Is this making you see things from a different perspective? Is this common sense to you? Like, what's coming up for everyone? Anyone here live or anyone watching the replay? What comes up for you when I say this? Yes, we have to do the confidence work to feel better, but we cannot expect that work to completely eradicate any negative emotion that comes with starting a business. Because here's the truth. We are doing something new. We are doing something that we've never done before. When I stepped foot into that gym today, I haven't been there in over a year. I haven't stepped foot into a gym in over a year. I am going to feel uncomfortable. I am probably going to get more tired than the person next to me who has been going every day. Okay? I am probably not going to have like the happiest experience when I have to like walk through people and feel like the discomfort of like being more out of shape than when the last time that I stepped into a gym, right? And I give you this example because it is such a good way of kind of like comparing and contrasting the process of starting a business. You're doing something uncomfortable. You cannot take that discomfort away. So why are we waiting to get confident to start the business? That's not the trick. The trick is to start the business before you are confident, walking in the belief that that will accelerate your confidence growth. Yeah? And I promise you, like I can pinky promise you right now that there has never been a client of mine who's starting a business from scratch. So most of you know that I specialize in working with brand new coaches. But also, you guys know that in the back end, I get a lot of referrals from higher level clients who have six figures, multiple six-figure businesses. So I coach all kinds of entrepreneurs, even though in the front end, I'm only marketing to new coaches. And I promise you that any new coach that comes to me, okay, or even someone who's been a coach before and they took a break, or even someone who's been doing it for a while, but they've been struggling to get the business off the ground, there is really no one that comes to me who's like, I feel perfectly fine. I feel perfectly ready. I have zero resistance to anything. I feel good and ready to go. I am just 100% confident. It just never looks like that. And I think waiting for that unrealistic standard of how we should feel before we start is going to keep us from starting 100%. Right? If we're waiting for the unrealistic standard, we're like, when this unrealistic standard gets met, then I will start the business, then I will start my group, then I will post my promotional post, then I will create my program, then I will hire the coach, then I will invest, then I will send that email, then I will create my freebie. Then you're going to be stuck in that phase of waiting for the unrealistic standard because that standard just doesn't exist. And our brains are so good at making us believe that that standard does exist because we see people online. We see people like myself who's been doing this for a really long time. We see other coaches, we see other people that we follow, and our brains are so good at saying they're just so confident, right? Like this is so easy for them. Everything they do is easy. So when I feel like that, then I will take action, right? When the reality is that everyone at any point in their business, it is constantly struggling with something. This is another thing that I can pinky promise you today, okay? Again, I handle multiple businesses at once, from brand new coaches to really high level multiple six-figure clients. I promise you that every single entrepreneur that you know, is going through something. They have some type of fear. They have some type of resistance. They have some type of doubt or insecurity or belief or thought or something that makes them feel like they're not ready, or something that makes them feel like they're not enough, or something that makes them feel like they don't know enough, or like they don't know what to do, or that they can't do or take that next step that deep inside they know that they need to take. Every single entrepreneur is struggling with confidence at any point of their business. Okay, it either looks like new level, new devil. So like maybe we move through all the foundational pieces, we get the first batch of clients, that client gets more comfortable with, being visible, their social media plan, their programs and offers, selling on the phone, that client goes through that. Okay, so they either go to new level, new devil. So like maybe now they're going to like a new thing. Like now they got to learn how to launch, right? Like the traditional launch model. And then that's uncomfortable. And then that is where the fear, doubt, and insecurity comes up again. Or it either looks like they go through the foundational stuff, they learn how to sell on the phone, blah, 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 blah. New level, same devil. Meaning we may have to do it again, and then your old patterns are always going to come up in some way or another. So stop thinking that everyone else waited until they build their confidence to get started. Stop thinking that you need to wait until you fully build your confidence to get started. That is the farthest thing from the truth, okay? Do it scared, do it uncomfortable, do it even when you're not fully confident in something, and I promise you that is the number one thing that will build your confidence. Number one thing. Now, intertwine that with the exercise that I'm going to give you, and it will feel so much better. Okay, it will go so much farther because you are shifting from within and you're shifting through the action as well. Match those two things, your business not only will grow faster, but you will also feel so much more better and empowered along the way and capable of achieving along the way. Yeah? All right. Thus far, any questions? Any questions, any comments, any insight? What's coming up for you? If anything, let me know if you're here or watching the replay. For those of you who watch the replay, which I know is a ton of you, just know that I always come back and I always answer comments. Every single week, I spend anywhere from like 15 to 30 minutes answering to all of your comments. So if any question comes up, or if you didn't understand something, or if you want me to expand on something, let me know, because I always do. Like last week, someone told me, hey, I would like for you to expand more on like how do we actually market ourselves online. So as soon as I read that comment, I met with my team and we're going to add that to one of the topics next week. So we take your feedback and your comments very serious here at the Land of New Coaches. Okay, so let's go to that third phase that I talked about, which is the exercise that I recommend to all of my clients. Now, little side note, I have hundreds and hundreds of confidence building exercises. So this is not the only thing I give. This is not the only thing in my toolbox. This is definitely not the only thing you can do, but it is the most basic, most simple, most powerful exercise that anyone can do. Okay. So why do we oftentimes don't feel confident in something? First of all, we don't have the experience, we don't have the understanding, we don't have the data to really be like, oh yeah, I'm confident about that. Like, I know that works. Like cooking. I can grab a brand new recipe that I have never ever tried before, and I could be like, yeah, cool, I can make this happen. I've worked in restaurants in the past. I saw my mom cook her whole life. I've cooked for a really long time at this point. So I feel really confident behind it because I have data, because I have experience, because I've done it many times, because I've burned many plantains, because I have made many mistakes along the way. So so that's why the action piece gives you it has so much power in this. But then the other piece is that internal piece, okay? The reason why we're not confident is because of the way that we're thinking about something. So the first time that I ever tried to make rice, guess what my thoughts were? My thoughts were, I don't know how much water I should put in this. I don't know how much to boil it. I don't know when I should close the pot. I don't know How do I know if it's ready? I literally don't know how to do this. This feels really uncomfortable. I have no idea how this is going to come out. What if I mess it up? What if I burn the rice? What if I suck at this, right? So all that thought pattern, those thought patterns are what make you feel insecure about the process. Really, that is the number one thing that makes you feel insecure about the process. That is the number one thing that is keeping you from feeling really confident. So this exercise is all about shifting those thoughts, right? Before you're a rice maker expert, you can start implementing this exercise to start shifting the way that you think, okay? So super easy, guys. This is what I want you to do every day. It's gonna take you 5 minutes max, okay? You're gonna grab your favorite journal. You're gonna grab your favorite pen, okay? And on one side, you are going to write down all of the thoughts that you're having around starting your coaching business, okay? They could be good thoughts, right? But if you've been resisting this process, if you've been resisting this action, if you've been stuck for a while, they probably are not. You're probably going to start realizing and becoming aware of how much your thoughts are actually lowering your confidence levels and keeping you stuck, right? So like on one side of that journal, that first page, I want you to write anything that's coming up for you. I don't feel like I'm a good coach. I feel like I need a new certification. My community is not big enough. I'm an introvert. I don't have the personality for it. I've gained weight, so I don't want to go in front of the camera. Whatever is coming up, I have heard it all. I understand you. I truly, deeply do. I have heard every single negative thought that could possibly come up around starting a business. I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of rejection. What if I have a stalker? Like anything that's coming up, I want you to do a thought dump on that page. Okay. So what that's going to do is we're taking what's here and weighing us down on a confidence perspective. We're going to take it from here and we're going to put it on paper. That is already alleviating the constant chat that you're having within yourself that is keeping you unconfident. So we put it on paper, we let it out. That is already on its own going to help. But I want you to go a step farther and I want you to pick like the 1, 2, 3 thoughts that are really like you really feel emotion with them. Oops. Sorry, I left my email open and I'm getting like a whole bunch of emails. So I want you to pick the 1, 2, 3 thoughts that like you go through that list and you're like, oof, that one feels really true to me. Like that one is really hitting me. Pick those 3, put them on the other page, and we're going to create a new way of thinking for those thoughts that are fully activated, for those thoughts that are truly generating negative emotion for you, because those are the ones that are keeping you the heaviest. Like they're the ones that are making this process the hardest for you. And we're going to generate a whole new way of thinking. Okay. So if we want to think differently, if we want to build our confidence before we even take action and feel better along the way, before we even start the business, we have to have go-to thoughts or go-to ways of thinking that are different than what we are naturally thinking about. For example, okay, one of the thoughts that's weighing you down on that first page is, I'm over this emails. I'm going to go with the backup. One of the thoughts that's weighing you down on that first page is, there are so many coaches out there who have been doing this for way longer than I have. And I'm not good enough. I'm not ready enough. I need a certification, another certification before I can start implementing and grow my business. Okay. What most people do here, which is a big mistake, is they try to create the complete opposite thought. They try to create a thought that's like literally like from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. So they go from like, I'm not good enough, other people are better than me, I need another certification, to like trying to create a new way of thinking, which is like, I am the best coach out there. It is so easy for me to grow my business. And I am so confident in my capacity that I need absolutely nothing in order for me to succeed. And guess what happens when you do that? You don't believe it, right? Like you literally cannot connect to that new way of thinking at all because you're like, that's just not true. That's why sometimes affirmations that are not customized to you don't really work as much because they're like, I am a millionaire. And you're like, but I'm not a millionaire, right? Like I have to check my bank account every time I go to Whole Foods. You know what I mean? So that's the trick here. The trick here is we want to create a new thought to lean on that you actually can lean on, right? That you're not going to be like, you're not true. I don't believe you. So you could say something along the lines like, even though, my favorite way of like choosing new thoughts in this exercise is starting with even though. Because that's just acknowledging like, yeah, I feel this way and I think this way, and even though I think this way, this is what I'm choosing um to start to think, So like even though I feel like I'm not ready, and even though I feel like other coaches are better than me, I trust myself to get better and better every day. I trust myself enough to get better and better as a coach every single day. Or even though I always feel like I need to get a new certification before actually executing on my business, right? I believe that I already have a lot of knowledge and education under my belt, right? So do you see how easy that is to lean on versus like, I believe that I don't need any more education whatsoever, right? Or like, I believe that I am the best coach in the online market, even though there are a million other coaches who've been doing this for longer. That's so hard for you to stand behind. But when you have a middle ground thought where it's like, okay, cool, even though I'm feeling this, like I can create a little bit of peace around it. And then in turn, you are simultaneously taking action. So every time you have that old pattern thought of like, I'm going to burn the rice, you think like, well, even though I could burn the rice, that's okay. Eventually I will get it right. So you're going to go with like, even though I will burn the rice, eventually I will get it right. I will get it right. Even though I could burn the rice, eventually I will get it right. And then simultaneously you're making rice and you're making rice and you're making rice, right? And then what happens is you lean into this thought, you make the rice, you get better. You lean into this thought, you make rice for the second time. Now the action that you're taking is solidifying this thought because you're like, oh shit, this actually was better than the last time, right? And then you lean into the thought and you make rice for the third time and you're like, wow, I can actually eat this. Maybe it is true that even though I couldn't make the rice, I will get better and better every time. Until eventually you make the rice and you already have that thought and you're like, actually, I'm good. I'm really good at making rice. So this is a really silly example, guys. Like the rice example, the gym example, like there's just so many silly examples that I add into the equation. But I think sometimes bringing like everyday life things that are a little bit lighter for most of us, like making rice, releases a little bit of the tension of building a business. Because building a business is something that we build so much pressure around, and it's so hard for us to like disconnect from that pressure. So try to look at it that way, right? Building your confidence is about, in your business, is about taking the action consistently before you're ready, right? Like not waiting until you're confident to start the business while simultaneously starting to think middle ground thoughts that you can match, right? You think the thought, you take the action. You think the thought, you take the action. You think the thought, you take the action. And of course, just like I ask you to take a middle ground, I ask you to choose a middle ground thought, I'm going to ask you to choose a middle ground action, right? Like perhaps I'm just saying, I don't know about you, but perhaps if you've never made rice before, maybe you don't want to start by catering like to a 500-person wedding, right? Where you would need like an industrial rice maker and like ginormous catering platters in order to make it happen, right? So again, silly example, but it's the same with business, right? Like perhaps if you're just getting started in your business, Perhaps you don't need to try to do email marketing, Facebook group marketing, Instagram marketing, sales calls, cold outreach, like, and try to implement all the strategies at once, right? Perhaps you could start with one, right? Like, I choose a thought and I do a live stream. I choose a thought and I do a live stream. I choose a thought and I do a live stream. And then eventually you're like, okay, this live streaming thing is good. I got this. Let's add something else. Same with rice. You make a small pot, you make a small pot, you make a small pot. And then eventually you're like, all right, maybe I can make 2 pots. Maybe I can make a giant one. Maybe I can cater a wedding, right? That is how we build the confidence to get started in our business. That's it. Very simple, but easier said than done. That's why we have to actually do it. Okay, I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know if you have any questions. I want to know if you had any aha moments. I want to know if it ignited motivation within you. Let me know in the comments section. Give me all the insight. That is always super helpful to me. Number one, because it lets me know we are teaching the right thing every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern in the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. And then number two, it allows me to expand on topics that you may want to learn or that really resonated with you, or all of the things that give my team and I data to continue creating episodes that actually help you. So I'm going to leave you with an action item, which is I want you to think about what is that tiny action that you've been wanting to take in your business in order to get it started that you've been resistant. What is that? What are you committing to building the confidence and moving forward with that, even if you're not confident? Put it in the comments, make it real, get some accountability by putting it out there, and let's get you going by at least having that commitment of like, I really want to get this done. I really want to feel more confident with this. I really want to start taking XYZ steps. Put them in the comments. Let us know. Let me know if you have questions. And to wrap it up one more time, ladies, just one more time, the How to Get Your Next Client framework, it is amazing. It's only on sale from Monday through Friday. It's 5 days. We're going to have it open. We already sold one of the spots, and this is literally the first time that I talk about it publicly, okay? First time I talk about it, we already sold the spot, okay? It is $100 off for the next 24 hours. So it's usually $397, which is a no-brainer for everything that you get. But for the next 24 hours, if you decide to join us, you get $100 off. And what you get is a 60-minute one-on-one coaching session with me, which is specifically designed for the How to Get Your Next Client framework, where you and I are going to dive deep into your business and figure out a unique, customized, personalized game plan of what exactly you need to be doing in order to get that business off the ground fast and start getting clients. You get a follow-up call 7 days later, about 7 days later, maybe a little less and a little bit more. But you get a follow-up call where you and I meet for 20 minutes and we talk about all the things that have been working, all the things that have not been working. If it's been hard for you to take action, you and I are going to dive deeper into like what's stopping you, what's blocking you. If you took some action and some things didn't feel good, we're going to talk about how we can tweak that. So there is a high level of one-on-one coaching accountability for a very low cost price. I don't ever do single session stuff because I feel like, first of all, it's really hard for me because my calendar gets really booked up with long-term one-on-one clients, but I also have always felt that it's not enough. But that's why I designed this framework to give you all the tools and all the resources to be able to get so much in a 7-day period. So you get my one-on-one support, you get a follow-up call, you get a whole bunch of bonuses. So as we go through the framework, I'm customizing a specific workbook. It's going to be like your Bible for your business. It's going to be the thing that you go back to and you're like, okay, this is what I do Monday through Friday. This is what I do to get clients. This is my marketing plan. This is my social media plan. So after you are done with the Get Your Next Client framework, you literally don't ever have to wonder again, what do I need to do in order to get my next client? Like that question of how do I get my next client that every single coach has, will not even be a question for you anymore, because if it ever comes up, you're going to be like, oh, here's my how to get my next client framework. This is what I need to do to get my next client, right? You get so much with it, like so much. You get a discovery call checklist where I go through all the things that you need to do to book more discovery calls and to convert more discovery calls. You get a really fun, customizable sales template. So if you know me, you know that I don't love sales templates. So the way that I designed this one is for you to be able to have like a flowy, fun conversation with the person, but also to have a little bit of a guideline as to like what to say in the calls. You get templates of how to write promotional posts, and the coolest thing is that workbook that I customize to you, because it's pretty much like a very easy to digest and easy to follow business plan, in a sense, like a modern business plan. I used to write professional business plans for business competitions, and I'm not a fan of them. I think they're so outdated, and I think they're so futile, because so much happens in our life now in a 6-month, 1 year, 10-year window, that writing a business plan for the future is just a waste of time. So this is the modern business plan that you just get to follow over and over again to get that next client, to get that next client, to get that next client, until you get booked out. So if you've been wanting one-on-one business support from a business and confidence coach who has been in the industry for over 6 years and has helped multiple clients scale their businesses to 6 figures and beyond through my unique framework of strategy, confidence, and intuition, book your spot, $100 off for the next 24 hours. Let's see. Amber says, I've been a life coach for nearly 4 years, and I wanted to tell you that I love this live. Aww. Yes, I love hearing that. I love words of affirmation. That's like my second love language. So thank you. Thank you for bringing your expertise to this space. Some really amazing reminders, even for me in this leg of my business. Thank you so much for saying that, Amber. I think it's so helpful for other people who are here. Obviously, the name of this group is The Land of New Coaches. So like I said, a lot of people expect like newbie advice, but the fact that you're sharing this is so helpful for me and other members, because it's so true. I think even if we're in business for a really long time, there's just so much insight. Like what I say is insightful at any stage. And that's intentional, right? Like it is very intentional for me to be able to provide things for the brand new coach that is also helpful for the more advanced coach. So thank you for sharing that with me, and most importantly with everyone else. I think it's so helpful and so kind of you. And yeah, come join us every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do different topics every week. You can vote throughout the week. Just like we have 2 topics, and you can pick whichever one you want and come party with us. We do this every single Monday. Thank you so much, Amber, Claudia, anyone else who was here live. For anyone else watching the replay, you guys are amazing. I will see you next week for another episode of The Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. Bye.